Now, the Delhi government today has signed an agreement with the International Baccalaureate Board. The IB will be associated with the upcoming Delhi Board of School Education. That's what the Chief Minister has said. In fact, Mr. Kejriwal tweeted that Delhi government signs an MOU with the IB Board. IB will be associated with the upcoming Delhi Board of School Education. Now, Delhi's education revolution will reach newer heights with DBSE and IB collaboration. Now, DBSE will start with 30 affiliated schools. 20 schools of specialized excellence will be launched under the board by the 15th of August. That's what the Delhi government has said. Private schools can also get affiliated with the DBSE. Here's what the Chief Minister said.
कुछ देशों की सरकारों के साथ इनके समझौते हैं अंतर्राष्ट्रीय बोर्ड के, जैसे अमेरिका, कनाडा, स्पेन, जापान, साउथ कोरिया, बड़े बड़े विकसित देशों के साथ इनके समझौते हैं। तो आज खुशी की बात यह है कि हमने दिल्ली बोर्ड ऑफ स्कूल एजुकेशन का इंटरनेशनल बोर्ड के साथ समझौता हुआ है। अब दिल्ली बोर्ड ऑफ स्कूल एजुकेशन जो है, इसके तहत जितने स्कूल आएंगे उन सभी स्कूलों के बच्चों को अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर की शिक्षा मिला करेगी। हमारे दिल्ली बोर्ड ऑफ स्कूल एजुकेशन के तहत जितने भी स्कूल आएंगे उसमें प्राइवेट स्कूल भी होंगे। प्राइवेट स्कूल भी इससे एफिलिएट हो सकते हैं हमारे दिल्ली बोर्ड ऑफ स्कूल एजुकेशन से। सरकारी स्कूल होंगे सारे। अभी 30 स्कूलों से इसको शुरू किया जा रहा है। उन स्कूलों के टीचर्स की ट्रेनिंग अब अंतर्राष्ट्रीय एक्सपर्ट्स करवाएंगे। इन स्कूलों के अंदर उन बच्चों का असेसमेंट कैसे होगा, ये इंटरनेशनल बोर्ड डिसाइड करेगा।
All right, let's go across to Akshay Dongre joining us for more on this. Akshay, how are the Delhi schools reacting to this association with the International Baccalaureate Board?
Well, Rohit, this is in fact a very important step that is being taken by the Delhi government. From a very long time, the Delhi government has been planning to associate with an international board, and that they said is a need of the hour as far as revolutionizing the entire curriculum of schools in the Delhi government are concerned. As far as the reaction of schools are concerned, the private schools are right now thinking of associating with a similar board because the Delhi government has kept that option open. As far as the present situation is concerned, the Delhi government has clarified that in the beginning, there will be 30 schools which will be associated with International Baccalaureate, which is also called IB board, with which approximately 159 countries have been associated, different schools in these countries have been associated. This is going to take same standards of schooling, and they will implement it on these 30 schools as an experiment. After which the Delhi government also plans to include all the Delhi government schools in it, and have kept the option open for the private schools. The Chief Minister has pointed out a very important thing, that there are two kinds of schools in the national capital. One is for the rich and one is for the poor. And generally all the government schools have been looked by the public as somewhere where they would not want their wards to go. But now that is being changed by the Delhi government, as they are claiming. Remains to be seen that how exactly they are going to implement this entire structure in the entire national capital, and how many private schools will be willing to take up this particular board, which is also very reputed across the world. That remains to be seen. But in fact, a very important move has been taken by the Delhi government to change the way education is given in the national capital, which then later can also be followed by different schools across the country. Rohit?
Thanks, Akshay, for joining us with all those details. Now, joining us to discuss this is Atishi, MLA of the Aam Aadmi Party in the national capital, Delhi. Someone who has worked on this Delhi government education policy for a long time. Also joining us, Sudha Acharya, principal at the ITL Public School in Delhi. Atishi, to you first. Why IB over other boards?
See, if we see one of the big problems of the education system across the country, and we all struggle with it, is the fact that the Indian education system is largely based on rote learning. And the examination pattern that we have encourages that you have to go learn up all the things in the textbook, go into the exam, reproduce all of those. If you reproduce them well, then you get good marks. And if you don't reproduce them well, you don't do well. This is generally how our education system is structured. What we lack, therefore, in our education system is creativity, is out-of-the-box thinking, is innovation. And unfortunately, what happens is that however you are going to examine or however you're going to assess, one ends up teaching in the classroom in exactly the same manner. And so, effectively, all our classrooms are full of rote learning, and
Yes.
our education system, while high quality, does not encourage innovation, creativity, entrepreneurship, as we see in education systems across the world.
Right.
So while over the past 6 years, we have managed to get the Delhi government school level almost at par with a lot of the private schools. Our schools are getting better marks in class 12 board exams. But now we felt that it was time to take the leap to the next level, to change fundamentally what we teach, and how we assess and examine our students.
Yes.
And that is the reason why the Delhi board is collaborating with the International Baccalaureate.
Yes. All right. So the challenge, of course, will be to implement this entire structure. We'll come to that in just a bit. Ms. Sudha Acharya, are the schools happy with this decision? How many private schools, for example, would want to affiliate themselves with this?
I am truly elated with this decision, and I believe that this partnership between Delhi Government Board and IB Board
Yes.
is transformative, progressive, and a momentous decision. We all know that IB Board is based on equity and excellence. And
Yes.
as Atisi ma'am pointed out, this will provide opportunity to all the children, irrespective of their socio-economic, cultural background, geographical identity, or gender identity, or marginalized class, to have a world-class education. IB Board prepares students for to be global citizen, empowered with 21st century skills. It is based on deep learning, risk
Yes.
takers, innovators. So, and it provides a lot of opportunity to our students in university and good colleges, and for scholarships also. So, I
Yes.
truly really welcome this decision, and most of us are really happy with this decision. It's a great partnership.
All right, Atishi, let me come back to you. What's the government's timeline? You know, this innovation, entrepreneurship, critical thinking, all this is very good. But how are you going to implement this? How are you going to bring more and more schools on board with IB? And what are these 20 schools you're planning to launch as schools of specialized excellence by the 15th of August?
So the intent basically is that in the first year of the partnership with the International Baccalaureate, we are going to have 30 schools that come under this purview. And the intent is that once the rest of the government schools and private schools across the city see the results that are being achieved, then many more schools willingly would want to affiliate with the Delhi Board of School Education and IB
Yes.
conglomerate. In terms of schools of specialized excellence, these are schools that we are starting that will be specifically from 9th standard to 12th standard, where students would focus on a specialized field. So there would be 4 kinds of schools. One which focuses on STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Second, we would have specialized schools that focus on visual and performing arts.
Yes.
We will have a set of schools that are going to focus on humanities, and a set of specialized schools focusing on higher order 21st century skills. And these
Right.
would be schools from grade 9 to 12
Yes.
across all of Delhi. And we would be beginning our entrance examinations for these schools only from 9th standard to 12th standards, focusing specifically on these fields, preparing the children to perform at international levels
Right.
in each of these areas.
All right, Ms. Sudha Acharya, there's an argument that the boards like the ICSE and the CBSE in particular are better aligned to the competitive exams that happen in India. How do you react to that?
No, I think that I have gone through IB board curriculum,
Yes.
and I have seen that it is far more better equipped. It equips children to explore concepts and clarity of understanding, and most important is the system of assessment. You know,
Yes.
till now, as Atisi ma'am pointed out, that
Yes.
our education system was teacher-centric, based on content-based. So now there has to be a paradigm shift from content-based to competency-based. So IB board is based on that. Children will be risk takers, and it is based on experiential learning, and more so the assessment is for learning and as learning rather
Right.
than it is of learning. It is continuous observation and assessment, which is known as otherwise formative assessment.
Yes.
And here in this system, we also found that lot of benefits that if any children have any aberrations or special need, we find out
Yes.
student at risk very early also. And students who are not academic oriented also, they do very well, as she said, that visual and performing arts and sports, integrating
Right.
curriculum, different kind of sports or multidisciplinary. It is based on interdisciplinary curriculum.
All right,
So,
ma'am,
I
one
believe that it is competitive exam oriented.
All right. Sorry to cut you short there. Running short on time. Atishi, one quick question to you. How will the admissions happen to these schools, especially these schools of specialized excellence?
So we would be having an entrance test, because we would need to test the aptitude of students for that field of excellence, that specialized excellence that we are talking about. So within the next few days, we would be putting out a notice for the entrance examination to these schools. And anyone who studied in any government school or private school in Delhi can apply for admission to these schools.
All right. Atishi and Sudha Acharya, thanks very much for joining us on this discussion.